Former Republican Vice President Dick Cheney, who served alongside President George W. Bush, has died at the age of 84. According to a statement from his family, Cheney passed away Monday night while surrounded by his family members. They say he died due to complications of pneumonia, along with cardiac and vascular disease. Cheney was in the White House with Bush for 2 terms between 2001 and 2009. In recent years, he became a harsh critic of President Donald Trump, and he was largely ostracized from the GOP. White House flags were lowered to half-staff to honor former U.S. Vice President Dick Cheney.
I, Richard Bruce Cheney, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
The Republican, a former Wyoming congressman and Secretary of Defense, was already a major Washington player when then Texas Governor George W. Bush chose him to be his running mate in the 2000 presidential race that Bush went on to win.
We give honor where honor is due, and someone who gave their life, loved their country, loved serving their country in so many capacities. As you know, Dick Cheney served as vice president. He served as a Secretary of Defense. He served as a congressman, of course, from Wyoming, and as the youngest chief of staff to any president in the history of the country. And so the honor is certainly due to him, and our prayers go out to the family.
Cheney was considered by presidential historians as one of the most powerful vice presidents in U.S. history.
Dick Cheney's legacy is fundamentally complicated, fundamentally polarizing, and in many respects divisive. He was a champion on the right when he was in office, and he embodied a certain form of a Reagan approach, where sort of a hawkish line on national security, an advocate for conservative judges, and for sort of limiting taxes.
His family says he died Monday of complications of pneumonia and cardiac and vascular disease. Former President George W. Bush says Cheney was a decent, honorable man whose death is a loss to the nation, adding that history will remember his vice president as among the finest public servants of his generation. Cheney's time in office was defined by being in the White House with Bush out of town on September 11, 2001. He said the day made him a changed man, determined to avenge the al-Qaeda orchestrated attacks. He was considered a hawk in the administration, who was instrumental in the decision to invade Iraq. Cheney believed history would prove they made the right move.
What we did in Iraq was exactly the right thing to do. If I had it to recommend all over again, I would recommend exactly the right same course of action. The world's far safer today because Saddam Hussein is in jail, his government's no longer in power, and we did exactly the right thing.
Cheney is being remembered for his active role in pushing for the U.S. invasion of Iraq and as a polarizing figure both to Democrats and within his own party.
He was certainly more involved than most vice presidents.
I think he was a patriot. I think he loved this country. I think he was a stalwart Republican. And he'll be missed.
But the Republican Party changed during Cheney's years out of office, and his daughter Liz Cheney, once a part of the House Republican leadership, ended up taking a strong stance against U.S. President Donald Trump, and vice-chaired a committee led by Democrats investigating the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. Her father supported her.
But I think that was, for Dick Cheney, a clear sort of, red line that what he viewed Donald Trump as being responsible for in January 6th was just unforgivable.
He cast his final vote in a presidential election in 2024 for Democrat Kamala Harris. Cheney is survived by his wife, his 2 daughters, and 7 grandchildren.